Tonight, we are gonna bullshit for probably less than an hour, but we're talking about slasher movies. What is it that makes up this subgenre? What are some infamous franchises that we kind of secretly like or hate or love to hate? But I got John and Nathan from Mercury Theater podcast. Welcome.
Hello.
Hey.
I'm John for the listeners. I'm John Badger.
I couldn't tell. Badger.
And he's John.
And the other one's Nathan. That's Nathan.
The not John. Right here.
Yes,
let me retry
not
you
me.
in Zoom right here. Nathan, also known as not John. Walter.
The anti-John.
Oh, the anti-John. You and I are one and the same. I'm going to replace you and make a clone of you and then sell this piece of shit movie to Paramount Plus. Too much?
I don't think that Paramount Plus would. I think that we'd go straight to Netflix.
You know what? If it went straight to Netflix, I'd watch the hell out of it.
It might be on Amazon. It might be on Peacock. They need some content.
Oh, Peacock. Yeah, Peacock would take us. No
also
doubt.
known as Suck My Cock.
Ooh. What?
Just couldn't resist.
Oh, yeah. No, I got nothing.
You're the one who said no lawsuits.
I'm not telling anyone.
Yeah, that
do
is true. You are the one. We are not affiliated with NBC.
Who said this was NBC?
Peacock.
Oh, I'm just saying they could easily be mistaken for the Pornhub spin-off site of the same name. Suck my cock. Anyway. May or may not actually exist. I'll let you pervs fucking look up and see if it exists. Anyway.
Well, my favorite porn site is penisland.com, actually.
Man, you got to it. Let the cat out of the bag. No pun intended.
This is a very different episode. This is the after hours episode.
Porn elements in these fucking slasher movies.
Yeah, you were expecting torture porn, and now you get straight up
right,
porn.
different kind of porn.
Yep.
Okay, so John.
That'd be me.
John.
Hello.
It's me, John. So when did you bother watching horror movies, let alone movies that involved a bunch of stabbing and stupid college dropouts getting slaughtered in the woods?
I started at about 3 p.m. today.
Just now, this many years later, just now.
So I got like 1.5 in, and I'm currently in the middle of Nightmare on Elm Street. So it's a first run through for me.
Oh God.
Yeah, seriously, I'm like halfway through it. But then the one before that was have you seen The Strangers?
Oh God, I knew I was missing something. I have a list right in front of me. I'm like, I knew I was forgetting some slasher franchise. Oh yes. God. So I'll let you go first. The guests go first.
Oh, thank you.
I violently hold my fucking self back.
Okay.
And explode.
So I'm just explaining what movies I've seen. Or what about them? My opinions on them.
Not to be confused with Stranger Things.
No,
lots of things, but there's
both on Netflix though.
Oh snap!
Yes. Yeah. So it wasn't the original The Strangers. It was The Strangers, Prey of the Night.
Oh yeah.
So not the one with.
They go all purge in the second one.
That was.
By the director of the Shark movies, 47 Meters Down, which I totally recommend.
Didn't realize you could get a whole movie done with 4 people getting killed off, but
right?
Yeah, it took a really long time for that to happen.
Didn't help that they had a whiny ass voice.
Well, Jurassic Park was also really good. There's a lot of slashing.
That was pretty much I sold you guys on this episode. I was like, you guys just name me one that I know you like. Jurassic Park. Okay, fair enough.
that was
I know slashers.
It's kind of a slasher.
Kind of, yeah.
Hey Nathan, we were talking about one earlier. Can't remember what it was, but there was one where like the toys came alive. Cam, you might be able to help me out with this.
Puppet Master.
The toys came alive,
Puppet Master.
and they're like cutting each other up and like rearranging them and making them like into like weird monstrosities.
Puppet
And then there were some
Master.
aliens. Did that one have aliens in it?
No, you're talking about Toy Story.
Oh shit.
I mean,
you want like Child's Play or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's what I thought. I thought I was watching Child's Play, and then I found out that I was watching Toy Story.
They should all cross over. Who, everyone needs that Universal and Disney.
You know what? There's that whole scene in Toy Story that is probably the toy equivalent of a slasher film.
Oh yeah,
the most horrifying.
Claws.
Yeah. If you were a toy watching that would be like a slasher film. Like that'd be scary as hell.
A G-rated movie had one freaky scene. Yeah, it's funny how that goes.
The fishing pole with the legs.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
That one.
Oh, you mean
horrifying.
The hooker?
Isn't everybody a dead hooker?
Well,
I mean,
I'm not dead.
At least they're not in Dead Hooker Blood. Oh, like Charlie Sheen.
Yikes.
Yikes. I love how you just pulled a Shaggy from Scooby-Doo.
Zoinks. Come on, Scoob.
Okay, get laid. Walk around like a goofy and so.
This is why I hired Nathan on to voice acting.
Yeah.
It was
in a
definitely your
world
Shaggy
where
impression.
one person must voice act.
All for the Shaggy.
like
Anything to
Scoob.
shag. And lo and behold, he was part of the Scream franchise. But don't you love how everyone's like, I love Scream, so let's do I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah,
but
so
those
I was watching Scream, and I didn't even realize that it was actually supposed to be like a horror film, like a slasher thing. It was only when I was looking it up, and I was like, "Oh shit, that was supposed to be a slasher flick."
Oh shit, it's Brady.
Yeah, but those were 100% the films that that's the ones that I've seen were all the ones that were like the new wave, that came
everyone
through.
Would
I was in high school at the time, right?
And everyone would talk about it at school, and they would never say whether they were good or not, just that they watched it. It's like, it was cool to see it. The years before everyone realized.
God.
It didn't matter if it was a good movie or not, right? It was,
oh, man, see what I saw this week. It was like, and
so
then
that's the
other movies that are basically slashers, but they're in the realm of like a giant monster movie, like Jeepers Creepers or something. And you're like, why do you guys even want to see this? You don't even know what it was about or remember it. And then years later, they're doing podcasts like this. They're like, I forgot what a shitty movie that was. I'm like, really? I could have told you, and I had no sense of fucking quality back then.
I don't think Scream deserves this hate. I think Scream's
No,
right.
I'm not hating it. I'm hating on I Know What You Did Last Summer, which is a great comedy, but it's not meant to be a horror comedy. But Jack Black's in it, so it has to be a comedy, right?
Yeah. It's not a good one. I mean, you're not wrong about that. It's not my fave.
So,
but they are funny, and I do secretly want to rewatch it. And what's funny is I was in a thread where someone was like, "Oh my god, I love Sarah Michelle Gellar." Like, I just brought up those movies. I'm like, they did a bunch of these. And they're like, "Oh my god, those are so terrible." I'm like, "You brought up Sarah Michelle Gellar. What else do you think she's been in besides Scream 2?"
Well, you want to talk about movies that you brag about having seen, but just hated it. A Human Centipede. Holy shit!
Oof, yeah.
Is that
I talked to my buddy Robert Lasardo, who was in part 3, and he said those guys were so nice. They were practically the Wachowskis on acid. But I'm like, I'm still not going to see that fucking movie. I'm sorry, Eric Roberts. I'm sorry, Lasardo. I'm not seeing these fucking movies. These are...
I don't know. That description might have sold me on it. That's one more viewer.
Oh, that's part 3. So you got to wait for part 1 and part 2 to see what the fuck part 3 is going to do with this.
Do I? I think I'll be equally lost regardless of whether I watch.
I mean... If I saw part 1, I definitely fast forwarded through it. It was boring as fuck, and I'm like, this is not a movie. This is even before you get to the nastiness of it, and this is
those first 20 minutes are boring as hell. And I was making fun of it through it, and then I get to
and it's got an
part where it's like,
Who do you want to show this to?
It is fucking gross.
This is not appropriate for anybody.
No.
And if it involves fecal matter, it should not be aired. I don't give a fuck.
It is just one of those movies that people say, "Oh, did you see Human Centipede?" And they brag about having seen it, but it's a horrible movie. Don't watch it. Like, genuinely, don't watch it.
I can understand the love for Serbian Tell and the Holy Mountain, but do not recommend fucking Human Centipede.
Now, I will recommend the Tom Cardy song inspired by Human Centipede.
Or the South Park parody where they're talking about the Apple terms of use.
Sentai.
Yeah, there you go. Right.
Yeah. You didn't read the terms of use.
I watched that before that movie.
God.
And honestly, I don't know which one's worse.
But I feel like Human Centipede is one of these that, like, it is, the whole genre is like, you absorb it through cultural osmosis, right? You don't have to have seen it.
Yeah.
You know what it's about, right? You get the idea.
Mm-hmm.
But you get to watch every process of it when you watch the movie.
I don't need to. It's all shitting and eating, repeat. You know,
okay,
I'm good.
That's my daily routine, okay?
Why do I
that is a good point.
Reminder of my life.
That is a good point.
Knew what social commentary he was inserting into his movies. I doubt these fuckers did.
If I brought shitting and eating any closer together, I'd have a fridge on the toilet. Like, that is about it.
Thank you. In that fucking movie. Jesus.
I definitely have a like one of those mini fridges in my bathroom.
Just made some room. Fix a sandwich or something.
Is that how it goes?
That's John's making a sandwich song. Yeah, for sure.
Making a sandwich.
What a shitty day.
But yeah, I mean,
shitting your way. Right.
You can grab it from the toilet from one side, and you can grab it from the bathtub from the other side. It's fantastic. It's just convenience all around.
All right. So
anyway,
if I think about it, Nightmare on Elm Street and Wishmaster, basically, I mean, this isn't apparent, but I mean, basically all our horror creatures are basically slashers, but they just add the supernatural element where they're undead or, got a magical spell or mad voodoo or curse, like maniac.
Or in your dreams.
Leprechaun.
Oh, yeah. And
for sure. My brother was a huge Leprechaun fanatic when I was a kid.
He used to Leprechaun, and
he used to run around the house and like creep me out by pretending to be the Leprechaun. And
you were scared by the Leprechaun?
I was pretty young at the time. I don't know what. And to be
honest, pretty terrifying. They give you marshmallow.
No, hold on.
Real.
What? No?
To be clear, I was scared of my brother pretending to be the Leprechaun.
Wow,
that's very different.
I once freaked out my sister by dressing up as the Wishmaster. But it wasn't. I think it had very little to do with the mask and more to do with the creepy voice. As you wish, Alexandra.
So Nathan, what's your favorite slasher flick?
You know what? I will tell you. I was going to ask because for me, like, I really get down on like the really hokey versions that came out later. Like,
that should be your music group. Getting down on the hokey.
Get down on the hokey. It's a bluegrass
get
group.
down on me in the sickness.
Get down on the hokey. Down on the hokey. Down on the hokey. So I was like,
hold on.
You sounded like Buck Cherry doing a cover of Disturbed. It's great. Oh, I want to get close to you. Get down with the sickness.
I would listen to that. I'll be honest with you.
I would too. I was going to say lyrics. It's great. Anyway, go ahead.
I was going to say Freddy versus Jason because, or like Jason X, where he's in space. Yes. They're so bad. They're so terrible.
Coming soon. Like, we are going to do a whole Freddy versus Jason franchise battle.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard since they don't even have near the same amount of movies and they both have a stupid TV show.
No, but they had that one movie, which was...
Oh, yeah. Everyone has to go to space, my man.
I know.
Go to space.
Jason X. Yeah, that was like...
X. Leprechaun did it. Jason X can do it even more insane.
So I really love when the franchises got so weird that they became parodies of themselves. Like at a certain
that's
point.
The crazy part. Just about everybody had seen the Leprechaun movies, and they were direct to video for the most part. Puppet Master. And
how many were there?
Direct
what?
to VHS.
How
There was
did
like 4.
Yeah, that was back when everybody was doing less attention to whether it got a theater release. And there's still that mentality when I see people who want to see a piece of shit that has their favorite movie star like Van Damme or Steven Seagal. And they're not giving a shit if it even played in a theater for a day or not. They're just like, I want to see my overgrown, non-charismatic movie star, and I never got over my teen years, beat someone up.
Well, it is really interesting when you see a bunch of movies that didn't make it in theaters, but made it in once they
it's like, so when people do the whole it'll find an audience, it's like, damn right it will. It's gonna find an audience even more with streaming now. Some piece of shit is gonna be up. Like, someone is gonna be high and just have something on and just be like, I don't know what this is, but I want it on.
And that's how Mercury Theater podcast got its start.
Mercury Theater podcast.
I want to watch it.
Podcast.
I'm Peter Graves, and this is Mercury Theater podcast.
Well, we had an in space episode because Mercury Theater podcast. Yeah, nothing.
Hellraiser's the only one that did it awesome, in my opinion. Anyway, yes, Jason X, gory ass fucking movie and outrageous dialogue, and basically half the cast of every other Canadian movie and TV show.
Yeah. I don't know. Something about it I just loved. You know what else I was going to say? I don't know. Do we count Cabin in the Woods as a slasher film?
Oh, yeah. I was just about to talk about that movie.
I mean, basically, it's Josh Whedon trying to...
That movie I love. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Unironically.
The best part is that Thor dies. Because fuck.
Yeah. And he dies in like the most ridiculous way, too, doesn't he? Isn't he the one that just like tries to make the big jump and splats? Do I have that wrong? I feel like
I don't know. Probably.
I feel like he tries to make the big motorcycle jump to escape and just doesn't make it.
God.
I could be wrong. I could be remembering that incorrectly.
I mean, whatever works, my man. However you gotta get dispatched to exit stage right, that's what you do.
I think like those last few scenes of that movie were like really, really fascinating.
Yeah, it went some places for sure.
Yeah.
Places in the Woods coming soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. They like tie together, but it's like trying to tie together a bunch of films by like, recontextualize every previous slasher film you've seen as like these assholes in a bunker underground controlling everything.
Whoa, spoilers!
Before we found out, it's okay.
It's been out for
we can.
What do you want?
It's 2011.
It's all right. I saw it and didn't even remember that twist, and we can spoil it because Josh Whedon is an asshole.
Well, that's true. But
oh man.
Well, I thought that's what we were doing. Are we not spoiling things? I didn't really.
All right, we're talking about we're just babbling on about what eats us alive and just movie-wise. So I'm going to name off a few others here for you.
Here, let me quick spoil every slasher film. People get slashed.
Spoilers. I could have never guessed that. I thought the cowboys were going to roll into town with their samurai swords that they stole from their Asian co-workers and just
stop coming up with better movies. That's a great fucking premise for a movie.
I'm just gonna John Wayne your ass.
Samurai cowboys? Heck
yes, from the creators of Samurai Cop 1 and 2.
Yet Marvel can't come up with a single goddamn original idea.
Nope.
No.
That's why I prefer the pre-MCU. Yes, guys. If we just now that we've heard your little comic book feelings, we're gonna go on and talk about. I can't wait to see the iTunes reviews. That at least it'll let me know that someone's.
I'm just saying, I've seen enough. I've seen them. They're entertaining. Sure, I'm good.
Oh man! So, did you ever get into Poison Ivy? Not the comic book character, but those fucking.
I was just about to say because she's hot.
I would always see parts of these. I'm like, good fucking god, who wasn't in these movies? Drew Barrymore and Tom Skerritt are in part 1.
Yeah.
Alyssa Milano and Zonder Berkeley from Terminator 2 and 24. And then part 3 was like total Skinamax, like, and had My Name is Earl, Jamie Presley, and I've definitely My pants were never the same again. I will just say that. But I was just watching this,
Gross.
and I just loved how basically you know what's going on, but this is on edited cable TV, and I'm like, hey, still sexy, even though they're cutting out the explicit parts.
There are apparently two ways to get famous in Hollywood, and that is either doing porn or doing a slasher or a horror.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a horror movie with lots of sex. Doesn't count exactly. And I love how everyone
Nothing
likes
better.
to make that distinction. They're like, it's an erotic thriller. I'm like, and what do you think that's code word for? That's how they
An
market
erotic
it.
thriller.
I know. I see this all the time. I'm like, that's the same fucking thing. And I've even had to correct other people and like, well, it's not hardcore, so it's not porn technically. I'm like, oh, shut up.
But there's only one reason to watch Starz channel, and that's
right.
That's
if 90% of the movie is undressing, who are you kidding? And guess you want to know who I had an argument with this in this one snobby Facebook group was Jim Wynorski of all people, that B movie filmmaker of Chopping Mall.
Wait,
It's like,
aren't you the one who said no lawsuits? Come on.
I'm not. I didn't say he was an idiot or anything. Edit, cut, trim. I didn't call him the C word. I didn't say I will kick his dog to death. I didn't say anything awful. I just said,
and we're back.
and we're back after these messages of talking shit. But yeah, it's just like, dude, who are you kidding? This is what do you think you're doing? You're not making a movie of any artistic integrity.
I don't think this genre sees a ton of integrity, though, if we're being really honest.
I
with you,
mean,
right?
We're art.
I see some integrity.
No. Serious question.
No, you
What
didn't
is?
see integrity? You didn't see any difference?
What's the last slasher film that you would say has art and integrity?
Oh.
This is my point.
Yes.
Sleepaway Camp. Boom.
Okay. All right.
They're just fun, stupid movies that knew what they were, had Bruce Springsteen's sister being a psycho, and just outrageous kills.
Oh my God. American Psycho.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Especially when you get to part 2, where all of a sudden a guy
Haven't seen it.
nothing like Christian Bale gets murdered by Mila Kunis, Priest, That 70s Show, and then she kills the principal, played by William Shatner, on a really bad day.
That 70s show?
Yes, it was one of her first.
Do you know
movies.
that she was like 16 in that 70s show?
Yeah, she lied.
Yeah, it's
Crazy.
crazy.
Those Ukrainian girls, they got Hollywood figured out. Psycho.
Holy shit.
Anyway, I love the part where she kills William Shatner in American Psycho too, because he's like, she's going all crazy and calling him Bob, and he's like, stop calling me Bob. His typical. And then
William
he falls to
Shatner. Calling me
Gotta love, and I would see that in that TV guide listings, and I would just blank twice. I'm like, wait, William freaking T.J. Hooker, Captain Kirk is in this? Oh my God.
Yeah, I love that people hire William Shatner to do an impression of William Shatner on the show.
Right.
He's not even playing a unique.
Yeah, he's
Even
just
if he
a
just
parody
makes-
of himself.
He
Yeah.
makes this piece of shit movie in Canada 2 years before freaking Boston Legal revives his career. And you're
If he
just like,
goes in and just acts normal, they'd be like, "Can you Shatner it up a bit?
can you
Like, this is not gonna
Shatner
do
it up a bit? Damn it! No one's gonna see this piece.
I'm
of
not
shit.
paying for
I'm a
William Shatner to get a
Rocket
normal
Man.
good actor.
Rocket
See,
Man.
The weird thing
Rocket
about
Man.
him is he is one of the few guys who, like, even when he's normal, it's just weird and just funny. Like, you can see him really trying because he just knows what pit he dug himself into, and he's proud of it because he's got such an ego.
Yeah, why not?
Oh,
And it
man.
made him rich.
Made him rich as
That helps.
fuck. Yeah.
He's also one of the few actors that every person in the world can do a spot-on impression of
Yeah.
every single time.
Absolutely.
You at
Okay,
home,
so
you
we're
all
just
just
gonna
tried
run
it.
down-
Don't act like
yeah.
you didn't try it. You all tried to do Shatner
You
just now.
all tried it. You know what you did. Oh, man.
Yeah. Got-
American Psycho is
got-
wild. And then it blows your mind even more when you realize Rules of Attraction is based on the same material, but Roger Avery's doing it in his typical Tarantino-ish style. And you're like, And then the fact that they filmed scenes of Casper Van Dien, of all people, from Starship Troopers playing Patrick Bateman, and they deleted those scenes. I'm like, God damn it. You should have totally done that.
It's hip to be square.
Oh. I'm sure Christian Bale is proud of the fact that he bludgeoned freaking Jared Leto to death with a fucking axe. Yep. Enough said. Yes.
Okay, the business card scene, that got me. That that's
amazing.
The best scene of all movies.
It's such
ever.
a Wall Street movie with that scene. Yeah.
I mean, I have some pretty badass business cards myself.
Maybe that's why movie producers don't talk about it enough. They realize, oh shit, they just
cat's out of the bag.
Yeah, they're on to us. And our deflated egos. Oh fuck. What am I gonna do?
Yep, that's why I don't talk about Mercury Theater podcast, because it's like, people will find out.
Except for the 4 times you've worked it into this conversation. And counting.
Oh God, that's great.
I mean, I haven't even mentioned Universe 25, so we don't have to worry about it.
Wait. There's a movie called Universe 25. No.
It's
should there be?
There should be. Yes, absolutely. There should be.
Does it involve a guy killing people, included in the lo and behold, the killer's the professor who is tired of everyone dropping his class?
That's a season 2. Nathan,
that's season
make note
2.
of that.
Okay, so putting the first perpetrator of this idea we're coming up with before we pitch it to Lionsgate or Netflix or whatever the fuck.
Ooh, Lionsgate. Do I really want to be involved with? I think Mel Gibson is Lionsgate, right?
No. That's Alcon.
What?
Yeah.
Alcon?
That's the company who produced Passion of the Christ and Braveheart for. So, that's his homie.
Okay.
So who does Mel Gibson?
Yeah, fuck him.
Here. Everybody agrees with that.
Fucking awful movie he was in with Vince Vaughn and him playing cops, and it was like if Tarantino wanted to do his version of Serpico in Training Day, and it was just bad. Really
Talk
bad.
about a movie that should have been a slasher.
Yes, it should have. He'll get there soon enough. He's in direct-to-video hell, replacing Bruce Willis and Stallone. Oh God, have you guys heard of Pool Party Massacre?
I remember.
So these are some other movies. They're like deliberately just 80s tributes. They're like total in on the joke and yet kind of too much for their own good. But I just love how basically, as a result, everyone is now trying to seek out the movies that it's inspired by, like Sorority House Massacre, Prom Night. Is like, Jesus, where you guys been? Slumber Party Massacre is another one. Night of the Demons.
They're just, you can pretty much name anything, kind of like with porn. You just name anything that sounds kind of horrific, and then you've got a
horror or a porn or both.
Or both, yes. Yeah. Interesting search results for sure in my history.
Like the title Prom Night, which is a horror sounding theme for the typical target audience
my
for
God.
slasher films.
This is just like the Are You Singing to Jesus or Your Girlfriend songs. You ever play that game?
No. Wait, what the fuck are
Jesus
you talking
has a
about?
video game?
No. So you listen to a song and like a love song, and it's like, are they singing to Jesus or are they singing to their girlfriend right now?
Don't you wish your Jesus was hot like me?
Yeah.
Wrong movie?
Pretty sure
Shit.
that's
Well,
the porn parody. My bad.
That one got me. Oh, the image
I'll
that
put
popped into
my
my head when
holy
you sang
cross and penetrate you with it. Oh yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Wow, we just went straight. Right there.
No, you want
Love
protection?
it.
My bad. It's gonna cost you.
I love
Extra
some
blood.
blaspheming.
Talking about an immaculate conception, that'll do it.
Oh, what a comeback!
Oh my God,
It's too clever. It's too clever. We don't like it over here. We can't.
Fucking hate this goddamn guys. You're gonna coming up with all these concepts.
We're being smart, you son of a bitch.
Actually, that would be a great.
That would be a great line.
Immaculate
Be
conception.
smart, you son of a bitch. And he's got a Snake Plissken type haircut and a Joe Don Baker type voice. Go ahead on.
Okay, so
Where'd you learn
making a
that?
film.
I watched too much Elvira. my ass. Blam!
Culmination. Oh yeah, that's
yeah.
hot. Yeah, I'm like,
Oh, it's
sweating
hot. I
over
love how
here.
you said, oh my God. I wasn't even trying. Anyway, so,
Yep. My
so
God.
why the
Good
fuck
thing
do
I'm
people
wearing
want to see
wearing
movies?
sweatpants.
So, how many people that you know think movies like Saw are just a very brilliant movie? They didn't see the plot twist coming.
Would you consider that to be a slasher film? Because I
Yes.
looked at reviews and I saw that it's a thriller or something, not a slasher film. But that's definitely what I would consider a slasher film.
I mean, whatever
Glad
they
we've come to
intended, it
consensus.
lost what it was trying to be after part 2, where this
Well,
is-
sure.
they
Yeah.
think it's Silence of the Lambs 7, but it just comes off as like a poor man's Running Man or Cube. You know what I mean? Where it's just like everyone's a Minotaur maze, but there's just no passion. And you're just seeing, again, people get sliced and diced, but you don't feel anything from it. You're just like, why do I want to see all these awful people get carved up?
No. The one scene that got me is, I think it was like, Saw 17 or whatever, where the woman,
if only it existed, man.
Where the woman dives into the vat of needles, or the
Oh no, that's a Hellraiser movie. Anyway, go ahead.
No, this is a Saw movie.
I'm just kidding.
For sure.
I'm just kidding. Does Chris Rock come back as the Jigsaw creator?
But where she jumps into the needles, I was like, oh God, I can feel that. Like, what a horrible.
Oh, you're just mixing this
idea.
up with your last doctor appointment where they had to put in a bunch of nerve pinch needles.
No, I got my vaccine and I liked it. It was fun.
I didn't say it was a vaccine.
Yeah, you just took it to a really weird place.
You've never been like Neo at the start of the Matrix, where they're putting you all these things to make your muscles regrow. No,
I actually do like plug in the back of my neck, like just to recharge, but that's nothing Matrix.
I wasn't even going there, but yeah, okay. So someone penetrates the back of his head.
Yeah, I do that too, but it's not for any real purpose. I just enjoy it.
Yeah, I don't like it when you penetrate the back of my neck, Nathan.
Help me. Hey, I'm glad you said that, because it's felt for a long time, it's been feeling very like clinical. And I'm glad that you mentioned it, because I haven't been getting joy out of it either. So maybe we should just stop.
We should call it off.
Penetrate me.
That's right.
I'm sorry, Trent Reznor. Love you. I'm going to make fun of your music anyway. You're fucking awesome. What were we talking about?
Trying to think. We're on slasher films.
We're on slasher
We're
films.
talking about Saw. Yeah.
I would always see this other piece of shit that was at like all the DVD stores, and they only had like part 2. And it was like Bloody Murder. And it's just another one. I'm like, I've never heard of this. Is this one of the, and again, Lionsgate joint. And it's just one of those. I'm like, okay, so again, it's just it and Scarecrow Slayer were just another bunch of them. It's like they would never have either movie at the same store at the same time. And I don't think they were ever
Well, they do. It's just behind the curtain.
Oh.
Yeah.
Happening behind the curtain, man. I better be getting a great blowjob if it's behind a curtain. Anyway,
I don't think there's a such thing as a good one behind the curtain.
I mean,
we're honest.
I want to go out in style, man. Just like all these people.
Actually, the guys do it better, so whatever.
I wouldn't know. I'm just the receiver. Jesus.
They're behind the curtain. I'm not behind the curtain.
Meanwhile, I'm just having an existential meltdown over the fact that video stores don't exist anymore, and
they don't exist.
Nobody under a certain age is going to know what the hell we're even like. What curtain? What store? What?
Yep. Always use protection, kids. Anyway, yeah, so I would see this, and it looked like a guy literally killing people in a hockey mask. So it's like a blatant Friday the 13th knockoff, but he's killing people with hockey equipment and knives and other shit.
So he takes it a step further, right? Because he's not just using the mask; he's also.
And they made 2 of these, and I think we didn't even get to this earlier, but kind of like urban legends and Scream, there's no consistent killer. It's a different guy using the same copycat style each time. I'm like, So I don't know how many of them they made. I think they wisely stopped at 2, but I would see all kinds of people either say it's so trashy, you should see it, or it sucks. Oh my God, where did I can't, I'm trying to remember where I saw it. It was so bad. It was like, so it was just a weird kind of morbid curiosity. Like, I should check this shit out. I'm sure I'll regret it. I'm not going to spend any money on it.
Yeah. But that's exactly what it is, right? There's an audience for these already. Like, if you're someone who's really into
too good to be
slasher films,
true. Snakes on a Plane level curiosity. You're like, this can't be a real movie. Oh, it is.
Well, Sharknado was amazing.
Oh, Sharknado.
No,
lovely shark. Oh, those fins.
Or
so seductive.
Or the what was that priest, the priest that was a dinosaur, the dinosaur priest or whatever.
From your imagination.
Do you not know this?
I'm looking at.
Oh my God.
You're
not. You do not believe me.
Dinosaur priest.
I don't.
Oh yes, the Velocipaster. That was
Velocipaster.
And
Velocipaster.
It's a real movie. Dude, my pals, friends of the show, Steve and Izzy, were fortunate enough to even interview him. And this guy was like, I was in high school, I had an idea, and I saved that fake-looking dinosaur costume, and then decided, let's do a deliberately bad movie. And like, it's in on the joke, and you know it within the first 5 minutes, because basically the guy's parents get in a car and it blows up randomly, and then it says missing effects shot, so you instantly know. It's just like, oh my God, fucking amazing. And then there's such a hysterical spoof of the dude has to train himself in kung fu, and they make fun of all those over the top type 80s montages. It's like, yeah, I am in for the count. This movie rules.
Yeah, if I drop off the call early, it's because I ran to watch Velocipaster.
Velocipaster. It's either that or Psycho Goreman or any of these other just deliberately trashy movies that making fun of all the stupid random shit we find. Oh God, it's great.
I'm glad amazing. I was able to work in Velocipaster into this conversation, even though we're talking about slashers. I mean, it's a Velocipaster, you know, it is a slasher. That's fine. Yeah, I'm going with it.
I guess I just have a real weakness for things that are like not just a movie, but also an excellent like play on words. I just can't resist. I'm gonna have to watch this movie.
You have to. I think it's still on Amazon Prime. If it isn't, I mean, why wouldn't it already be on one of those?
Is it on Amazon Prime?
TV? Oh, that's where I saw it.
It went straight to VHS.
Dude, if it's on Amazon Prime, my wife and I have a date.
It actually played at a bunch of festivals, but it is amazing. Like, it's just such a funny movie, and just the fact that they ran with it is like, that's fucking ballsy. This is the Black Dynamite of random creature features. This is great. I love it. Oh God, I'm waiting on part 2. Make it. God, what's the other one?
What would we name it?
The Velica Rapist. I don't know.
No.
Too much?
No. Got T-Rex.
In the style of Evil Dead.
I don't know.
You thought the tree scene was too much?
Triceratops. What do we?
Sure.
There's got to be something, right?
I made my mark. I made you laugh. Anyway, so why the fuck do they keep making Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies?
That's a great question.
Because it's like the first one was hated, but it became a cult underground hit. And I can't for the life of me. I see people comparing it to Psycho. Not the sequels. I'm talking the original Alfred Hitchcock, Jim. And I am just like,
that movie, yes.
They're both inspired by Ed Gein. Sure. That's it. What's the comparison to, I mean, just the lowbrow title? And I see so many people oblivious to it. I'm like, I love those movies. And I'm like, okay, I can understand part 2. You got Dennis Hopper as a sheriff cursing him out and trying to kill him with his own in a chainsaw versus chainsaw war. I actually genuinely don't mind part 3 because it's both an action and a mystery and a horror road trip movie with Viggo Mortensen and Ken Foree from Dawn of the Dead kicking ass, and Kane Hodder playing.
He's in the most random movies. Viggo is.
Yep, he is a gem. But yeah, Kane Hodder, Jason himself, is even playing Leatherface. But yeah, part 4, I got nothing. I can't even watch the whole movie. It is so painfully bad that not even Mystery Science Theater can make me change my mind. It's that bad. And this was one they had in the can for like 4 years, and then they brought it out because McConaughey and Renee Zellweger's stars were on the loom, and it's just so funny how their lawyers they were realizing we can't bury this movie, so all we can ask is that you take their names and faces off the cover. Sorry. And then then they followed up with that awful Jessica Biel remake, and I see so many people defending that one, and I'm just like, I just remember just seeing it one night on Spike TV and laughing my ass off. And it helps that Arlie Ermey was the crooked sheriff in it, and I'm like, oh, I am in heaven right now. They made a fucking action figure of not the killer, but of fucking Jessica Biel running through a maze full of chains and knives. I'm like, oh my god, you thought that was worth an action figure? Of all things, of all merchandise.
But you can't even compare it. Like if you look at like Psycho, right, the original, it's a yes, there is slashing, right, but it's a very different kind of like
it's a psychological
factor,
terror,
right? And that whole way when you get into like the later slashers are more about like jump scares and being able to go back and tell your high school buddies like, holy, you'll never believe what happened, right, in this movie. Like that's what sold so many of these movies.
I love how easy it is to tell when there's going to be a jump scare, because it's like, okay, you have this volume up here at medium, and then it goes down, and then it stays like that for 2 minutes. You know, for that, after those 2 minutes, something's going to pop out, even if it's somebody who's like, "Boo, I got you." You know, they're still going to be
gotcha.
I mean, that's true. But then sometimes they don't.
Right.
The filmmakers have finally got wise to it, and then they're like, all right, we're going to set up a jump scare, and then it'll just leave everyone with like scare blue balls for the next hour or whatever. It's unbelievable. And then the worst part is then you're sitting there like, it's coming, it's going to happen, and then it doesn't. And you're kind of, even though you're like, oh, that was a great way to subvert my expectations, it's still disappointing. I wanted my jump scare.
I prefer the ones where literally just out of fucking nowhere someone comes and like knifes or shoots a guy in the face, just something like that. And I'm not sure if this is a slasher, but so Maniac Cop, definitely a undead slasher, but so the co-creator of that and the director of Commando made this movie that I don't know that it's horror necessarily, but it's kind of it's a psycho action thriller franchise. They made 4 of them. It was called Relentless. Not sure if that rings a bell, but if it helps, Robert Loggia was
Robert Loggia.
How do you spell that?
R as in Robert Loggia.
Robert Loggia.
O as in, oh my God, it's Robert Loggia.
Yeah, and they made 4 of these. They're a lot of fun, and hey, for some reason, it's just like it was kind of falling down before falling down was a thing. It's just New Line Cinema and Cintel Pictures would come out with a bunch of these, and it's like, so which psychotic person is this vigilante gonna kill next? And just weird. Even if Fam Jansen is like in part 4, and that was the doozy. But it's just weird what they experimented with. Is like, and so that's what I do miss about the 90s. And then by the time it got to the 2000s, that's when they were just like, okay, theater or blockbuster, how about both? We'll be in theaters for 2 weeks, and then blockbuster money. Well, promise extended gory and steamy content. Oh yes. But I mean, I even think of The Dentist. I don't know if you remember those horror comedies.
Those were comedies?
Yes. There's a lot of off-color Tales from the Crypt type moments.
Yeah, I thought that was real life. I thought it was a documentary.
Oh, it was a documentary. It was a documentary. But yeah.
So this genre is really blended with other genres then, huh?
Kinda, because I mean, you're laughing at it's by the creators of Reanimator, so it just got all these just random gross out, just wacky moments. And what's just wacky is I know so many people who know Corbin Burnson just from those movies. If they're not part of the LA Law crowd, if they didn't see Psych or freaking Major League or JAG, they know Corbin Burnson as the dentist.
and Cobra Burnson as the dentist.
Yeah.
You know, if we're talking about mixing slasher with like comedy, did anybody ever see Tucker and Dale versus Evil?
Oh yes. That show? Still waiting on part 2.
Oh man, that one really gets me.
I was expecting
the whole concept.
To drop Zombieland.
No, I mean that's getting away from slashers, but
that would be amazing. A zombie slasher.
Yeah.
Is the person undead, or better yet, is it the typical thing where it's a bunch of people, you know, Marines and cops and douchebag rednecks and everything, they're all trapped in a bunker, and one of them happens to be a serial killer. So there you go. 10 little zombie Indians.
That's kind of it. So, but is Michael Myers a zombie? I mean, he's kind of a zombie. I mean, I feel like many of these killers are kind of zombies, right? Because they, by all accounts, have been killed numerous times, and they just keep coming back.
Yes, they have. So allegedly, until the next batch of money lands on the executive's desk. Until I don't even know why they bother doing body counts, since half the time they have to retcon it anyway. And sequel number 1, 2, and so then what do you, the fan, do? Because then you start revolting, saying, "No, this is how it ended." In my mind, you know,
I don't know. I'm pretty much the most passive fan you can imagine. I'm the type of fan that's just like, that's not what I would have gone with. But
if I do a giant Star Wars body count, it's not going to include the sequel trilogy. It's like, nope, and it ends there. Counting video games, Luke never became a bad Jedi for 10 minutes. Nope, never haven't.
Yeah, we haven't done an episode of Mercury Theater podcast yet where everybody dies, but we'll get it. We'll make that happen.
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
This is the episode where
allegedly.
And then you can say, we did this because our actors love death scenes. There's nothing better.
There's
chewing into a good death scene.
Are you kidding? Yeah. Everyone wants to film a death scene, even if it means playing a dead corpse and standing still for 5 hours.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that. Get some sunblock or something.
Well, it depends on how amateur the film crew is. But you guys are professionals, so what do I know?
Fair. Yeah, if there's craft services, yeah, I'm okay.
Right. I'll sit here as long as you keep giving me those torchy tacos. Yeah, baby, I'll do it all day.
You'd be watching a movie, you'd be like, is that dead guy in the background eating a crudité? What's happening?
Okay. Allegedly snuck it into my pocket.
Dead body number 4. You need to be still for this.
No.
Sorry, I'm too busy laughing at your girlfriend's bad acting. Oops, out loud voice. Oh, shit.
Oh.
Good things I'm friends with the producer, so suck my dick.
Her acting's deader than mine.
Oh. Pa. Or, man.
So what I was gonna ask too, what do people like for killer weapons? Because I feel like there's some variety here.
There's gotta be, well, so I'm taking a page from Jack Bauer on 24. I'm gonna need a hacksaw.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. God. That was a horrible scene.
That was a wonderful scene. I would watch that every day. He killed a pedophile. That's amazing. Anyway.
Yeah. You know, yeah.
We're not going to do a 24 podcast here.
We're almost done with the whole thing. I might do 2 episodes at a time of all the batshit crazy shit Jack Bauer did. Played by my favorite psycho actor, Kiefer. Hell, Vincent D'Onofrio did so many great psycho thrillers. There's so many TV actors, and like everyone forgets. It's like, remember when they were playing a psycho for the longest time?
No, I'm telling you, you either start in porn or you start in horror.
Playing the bad guy, or playing the bad guy in a porno. Ooh.
Or if you're Alyssa Milano, it's both.
Wait,
right?
Oh, that's right. She is the bad guy in Poison Ivy too. So there you go. I did not see these all the way through. I skipped to the good part.
That's it. That's the sound of me making a salient point. You can actually hear it when I make a good point.
Kapla. Good luck.
Anyway. In case nobody heard it, I made a good point.
Right.
Yeah, my work loves that.
Yeah. Booyah. All right. So I'm going to come up with a suggestion. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
No, my salient point.
Yes. Oh my God. There you are. No, I can't hear you.
I don't know what happened. Anyway, so an hour in, I got interrupted. So I got a setup for you. So, we're doing our own slasher movie. Here's your setup. I'm in. Man's Johnny Bravo.
You need a plunger and Johnny
Someone
Bravo?
who looks like a hunk, and they're at a high school reunion. That's the setup. Who are you going to cast in this movie that you can afford for probably $5,000 for the day?
Wait, we're casting Johnny Bravo?
No, a poor man's Johnny Bravo. That's our hero.
Okay, so Walmart Johnny Bravo. Okay.
The people of Walmart. Anyway,
okay, so definitely not John Hamm then.
Well, we can't afford him anyway. Come on.
Yeah, we're
take a has-been,
Walmart.
someone who's been in everything, who will gladly say yes.
Oh, Patton Oswalt.
Okay, perfect.
Come on. I won't hear anybody dunking on Patton Oswalt.
He might do it. He might just.
He would do it.
He would do the movie, and it'd be spectacular.
It would.
Okay, perfect. So, how does the killer kill people if it's not a hacksaw?
Okay, Patton Oswalt's running around with
do the monkey with me.
A foosball and a slingshot.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see him have. No, he has.
No, I'm glad you brought that up. One thing I have always wanted to see is a death by football. Someone gets decapitated, football style.
Yeah, but the killers can't use projectiles. That's unfair. That's no good.
Okay, because it's a
that's exactly it.
slasher.
He shoots it in a cannon and shoots it out, and wham!
Every scene where the person's running has no suspense whatsoever because he literally just shoots him in the back.
Oh, I got it.
That's it.
I got it. Okay, so you get like a circular
John Jabbar
saw blade.
I don't know
right?
what that is.
Circular saw blade that's in a like a crossbow. So it's like shooting these.
Getting fucking nailed to the damn.
Yeah, I was gonna slash you.
I was gonna go really simple and just say knife legs. I don't know.
Knife legs.
This week on Criminal Minds.
Like prosthetic legs, but they have knives instead of feet.
God. I love this movie already. So who do you want?
Didn't he always get stuck in the wood?
So who do you want to?
He's like,
oh my God.
Yeah.
You can run, but you can't hide. Wait,
he's
God
not
damn it.
graceful.
I can't. I'm stuck.
All right, Shatner, settle down. So who's the director of this?
I don't know.
Ooh, M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong.
M. Night Shyamalan.
No. It's got to be a schmucky B movie film that we can afford.
Damn it.
Well,
okay.
I have no idea.
Think realistically,
because that would have a twist ending for sure.
Okay, fine. Danny Trejo.
Wait. Oh God. Yeah, he would do it.
Give him free burritos all fucking day and allow him to put his restaurant from LA
drinking his Schlitz.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that he directs movies.
No, he is now.
Anybody directs movies
everyone can direct.
They've been.
I guarantee you, if you just ask him to do it on the spot and say, "I have faith in you. I love you, Danny." He'll do it. I guarantee you.
I would watch the hell out of anything that Danny Trejo would put together. I just
there you go.
He was a director.
He'd get one of his like folding lawn chairs and like flick it out.
Yeah.
You know what though? He could be a producer too, because I feel like Danny Trejo knows everybody. Like, if you want to convince an actor to do a movie, get Danny Trejo to go over and talk to him.
Just bruise that ego a bit and stroke it till can't stroke it no more.
That's a long
Journey
time.
to the Center of the Earth or whatever the hell. That was horrible. He was
never
horrible.
saw it.
Okay, well, you didn't miss anything. But you know, there's
only been a billion different versions of that one. So
yeah. Well, it had what's his name in it?
Oh yeah, that.
Yeah. Never mind.
Brendan Fraser. I'm pretty sure he has standards, my good friend.
He was in that. No, not the same one though.
Oh yeah, that.
Never mind. Don't worry about it.
I can't. Never mind. This is my show.
It's just
we cut it out. We just pretend John never said this about.
I am walking off the fucking film set right now.
Meanwhile, I was just laughing over the fact that Danny Trejo is attached to this movie, and yet Patton Oswalt is our killer. Like, that's pretty.
Yeah, sounds like a party.
I'm into it.
There were these other movies as well, though. Too. Mirror, Mirror. And it's also noted as, Billy Drago from The Untouchables and Tremors 4 was in them. And once again, they're basically erotic thrillers, so to speak.
Wait, can we talk about House of Wax for a second?
That's what they're kind of like.
Yeah?
And a then unknown Mark Ruffalo was in one of them.
What?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Marky Mark Ruffalo.
No, don't do that.
I just did. The dude almost gave up acting. So did Charlize Theron. So did all these guys until they hit it big and got good shit.
Now I want to change the killer to be Carrie Ellis.
Carrie Ellis.
Carrie Ellis? Princess Bride, you know?
Oh, Carrie Ells. Okay.
Is it Elves? I don't know how he pronounces it.
Yes. All right.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Okay.
That guy's
we
awesome.
Already covered Saw. He needs something better than that. Perfect. Okay.
Well, he needs to be in the killer's shoes this time.
Oh, God.
I don't know.
And I mean, it's either that or we do Wrong Turn 7. So what do you want to do?
I feel like we need to do both.
Okay, perfect. Bring back everyone who was in Wrong Turn 6 and put them in Wrong Turn 7. Because as awful as those movies are, they're so much better than Part 1, which had the giant
afford
budget.
everybody.
Oh, God. I mean, assuming we can afford anyone. I mean, Part 2, they got fucking Henry Rollins, and Part 5 was the one where they had Doug Bradley, of all things, Pinhead from Hellraiser, and he just hammed it up. He knew what kind of a movie he was in. God. only life in that goddamn movie. Jesus.
There's nothing better than when an actor just knows, like, I'm just gonna go for
just self-aware, and just the camera plays to him, and the director is just blessed to have at least one good performance in what's a stinky pile of dog.
This isn't a movie about subtlety. This is
even Michelle Hurd from Ash vs. Evil Dead and SVU is in one of them. And I just love how she just was every once in a while just showing up in one of these B-grade slashers. I'm like, awesome, I love you. Playing a detective is going to try and shoot the killer.
Yeah, if you're not in Law and Order or SVU or anything, like, are you even an actor?
Oh shit! Oh, nice. Objection, Your Honor.
Yes.
Dum-dum.
No.
Sustained.
No, not sustained.
I just found out the rapist. Ice-T's gonna double penetrate you with some knowledge.
Oh God.
Body count. Body
half
count.
of that
body
sentence
count.
I liked.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
God damn it! I hate you so much, Nathan.
So let me sidebar, Your Honor. Have you ever heard of freaking Red-Blooded American Girl?
No.
So get this.
Seen American Pie.
I wish it was related. No, I don't.
Were you going to tell us about Red-Blooded American?
Okay, so I've only seen parts of either of these pieces of shit. So Andrew Stevens, you know him. He was on Dallas and Centennial, and then he becomes the infamous producer of Franchise Pictures, what I call the canon films of the 90s and 2000s. And it makes all these shitty Steven Seagal movies and what have you and whatever. And he's in this stupid-ass vampire movie called that. And then then they followed it up like a decade later with a fucking sequel that has nothing to do with it. And it's just a psycho thriller starring Carrie Wuhar. That's right. You know who you are, Mr. Skinamax.
So, a sequel to Red-Blooded American Girl?
Yes. It's just a psycho out for revenge against David Keith. And I'm just like, what the fuck? So why even call it Part 2?
Now, I don't know if you're going to make a movie that's not at all related to a previous.
I don't even know anyone who saw Part 1, so why they even called it Part 2?
Why attach your name to an unsuccessful?
And it has nothing to do with vampires or even being red-blooded. It's just a psycho chick out for revenge.
I mean,
okay.
So but hold again, I guarantee you, everyone definitely saw Part 2 as opposed to Part 1 because anything is worth it for Carrie Wuhar. or Awooga, as I call her.
Oh my God.
You know who you are, you bastards.
We just took a step toward the juvenile.
Yep.
Oh, this whole thing was petulant to begin with. It's just a matter of you'll like what you like.
Yeah.
I mean, these movies themselves are very petulant. I mean,
well, that's true.
Fucking, it makes you wonder if they're just like the Sci-Fi Channel executives, where they tell them make it as trashy as it can be. And then,
they definitely do. I
mean, and then put some boobs to keep us alive.
I'd be down for an episode on sci-fi original movies because that.
Yes,
I've seen like all of those.
I love those movies. And
yeah.
I love discerning the bad from the boring, from the so bad it's good, from the cheesy, from the deliberately fun.
I love the ones that they obviously would take bad adjective attached to scary animal.
Mansquito.
It's toxic shark. Here's spiders. Yeah, like they're
classic.
It's so weird.
I love the Lake Placid movies especially. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yancey Butler and Elizabeth Rome and Robert Englund. That's right, Freddie himself. Get to blast. Freaking gators, man.
Yeah. God, is it? Now that you sum it up, like that is what those movies were about, weren't they?
This is the title of this episode is going to be
How did this get made?
Slasher becomes Nathan overtaking this and making it a sci-fi flick.
I mean, I would love that. I would love that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Someone just hear Macho Man Randy Savage walking? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Give it your best one, John. Let's hear it.
Oh yeah.
You know, I actually have a scratchy throat right now. And it's way past my bedtime.
Way past my bedtime.
I know, I'm such a bastard.
Oh yeah.
Oh, now that's the Kool-Aid Man.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. If you don't go far enough, you wind up with Kool-Aid Man.
I like the Kool-Aid Man.
Kiss from a rose.
Well, that's
so. If you pour out the Kool-Aid from the Kool-Aid Man, is it like the Kool-Aid Man still, or have you like poured out his soul, or
I'm melting?
Is it his blood?
I'm melting. I'm melting.
That's the movie. Patton Oswalt is killing mascots for famous brands,
and then he melts, or what?
Well, I don't know. It does melt or not, but like Kool-Aid Man's hanging out with Captain Crunch, and some other like the Jolly Green Giant. They all get a summer home somewhere.
Oh, they get preyed upon. Oh, Patton Oswalt is the next leprechaun. Do it.
I can't. That's a look. I can't. Patton
it can't be worse than the last few WWE produced ones. Come on.
Yeah, that's fair.
And at least Warwick Davis, he took it to the bank, my man.
Yeah, there's another
one
for
playing Willow and Ewok.
Warwick Davis rules.
He is amazing. But even he knew when to tap out wrestler style.
Yeah, that's true, I suppose.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, I just can't help myself. Oh, God. Oh, so thank you all so much for being on the show. This was
thank you.
Too fucking amazing.
Yeah, thanks. It's awesome.
We will have to do a commentary track or some shit.
I feel like this whole episode's a commentary track.
Right. This is just talking shit about slashers for an hour and less than 90 minutes.
And Velocipaster, the best movie.
Oh yeah, I gotta go watch
best movie ever.
I'm out of here.
Ever, yes. So I will invite you back in a world where we're talking smack. This are the voyages of Mercury Theater Podcast.
Podcast.
Okay. Very awesome, gents.
All right.
It's been a pleasure.
us on the web on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The podcast is available on Podbean, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Apple, and anywhere else podcasts are available. Feel free to review our show and leave comments on any of those sites. Thanks a million for listeking.
It's a jacked up review show.